You know what's funny about my vaccine my getting COVID after being vaccinated, having a breakthrough case, is that people use that to back up whatever predetermined idea they already had.
Yeah, whichever one.
Whatever one they had, where it's like, you got it after you were vaxxed? Oh, you probably really happy you had it because you probably would be dead right now if you didn't have it. Or the other people are like, see, that's why I'm not getting the fucking thing, because we're getting the vaccine.
Whenever I told people about your breakthrough case, they would always be like, so what, are you an anti-vaxxer? And I was like, no, I'm just saying
you're not allowed to say it anymore.
It happened. I know a guy where it happened. I'm trying to say how strong the thing seems to be. And
they're like, well, that's because it's just hanging out there in the air because not everybody's vaccinated, so that's how and they're right, but it's like, why are you yelling at me? I did what I was supposed to do. I got vaccinated.
We are perhaps, this. I think people think that we're going to go Civil War style, bayonet at one another, but I think this is just the start of the Civil War in this country. I think we're probably 70 years away from some kind of secession, and then the whole thing is New China. That's my honest to God belief.
Wait, the whole thing is New China?
Hand to Xi Jinping, that's what I believe.
So nobody wins the Civil War?
Nobody wins the Civil War, no.
And in this fantasy...
There's one winner, China.
And Xi Jinping is still alive in this vision?
Yeah.
You said in 70 years?
I just had that cool ending about there's one winner, China. I wasn't really expecting any follow up on that.
He's 140 years old.
Probably.
In this?
He's got the tech. I'm sure he's got the access to the technology to do that. They're advancing over there, by the way, in terms of the way they are culturally. I just read that Alibaba's in a bunch of
sexual assault charges.
A lot of sexual assault charges. The state is getting involved. This is alarming. When I saw China started to get into Me Too, you're like, oh no, they're serious.
Yeah.
This is it. They're going for it. You need to be on board with Me Too to have a successful country in the 22nd century. What century are we in?
We're in the 21st century.
Are you sure?
Yeah, you just subtract 1 and
you do 1 plus 1. I always get confused.
Because year 0 to 999.
Did I already say on this show that I think that the first 100 years should be called the first hundo?
Yeah.
The first century. That's easier to me.
The first century is the first hundo.
0 to 99, because that's crazy to me. Yeah. That should be 0. That should be a prequel to the century.
The 0 century?
Yeah, exactly.
I think they had it right the first time.
It should be the pre-century.
You want to retool this? You're going to cause some kind of Y2K bullshit.
I'm going to figure out where I am on, figure out who of the vaccine debate is into this point of view, and then I'm going to cater to those people.
Year 0 is Jesus is born or died?
Year 0 is Jesus is born, depending on your calendar. My calendar started with the Prophet Muhammad. That's why we're at 1442. By the way, it is currently the Muslim New Year. Happy New Year. Kusin and Tasalim.
Is there a song?
That was the thing that you would... From a
3-banger?
You get a 3-banger every once in a while. Yeah, somebody's a little... I've for sure gotten a couple of...
Somebody was very excited about, let's say, a fresh start in the new year.
What's funny is I am completely okay. 1, 2, 3. Now we're getting into a weird... once you get into 3, I'm like...
But more than one in a row on the same side is... There's no way to pull that off without being a creep.
How close is the uncle? How close is the uncle? Yeah. You don't do that with a woman, by the way. No.
Actually, you know what? Slower is creepier. Wait, listen. I'm going to do 2 speeds here. Tell me which one sounds creepier.
Wait, hold on. You have to say Happy New Year. Eid Mubarak first.
Okay. Eid Mubarak. Or Eid Mubarak.
Slower, yeah. Slower sounds like you're a sniper. You're sniping kisses. Got him. Hit my mark.
Eid Mubarak. That's so nasty.
So lucky you didn't come from a cheek kissing culture. I did not know it was.
You've told me to write that as a bit.
Yeah.
Because I've said that. I tweeted. That's the most successful tweet I've ever sent. Was I'm so glad I didn't come from a cheek kissing country culture.
Sad, dude. I think you could break that record. Let's do it, man. Let's get you a more successful.
I haven't logged on Twitter in months.
It's a dying platform. I don't know what the fuck anybody's even doing on Twitter anymore.
I'm only on TikTok.
TikTok is where it's at, dude.
I'm only on TikTok. Rules.
It's amazing.
The Chinese, they censor all the shit I don't want to see, all the tomfoolery and knuckleheadery.
Yeah.
And it's just good quality content.
By the way, TikTok makes it really easy to blow up, too. It's not just is there an algorithm, but if you post pro-CCP material, they'll just blow you the fuck up.
Shit, we should start. I mean, by the way, Worst Hour Podcast is a pro CCP podcast.
The thing about the Chinese Communist Party that I like personally is the abbreviation CCP.
See, that's great because every ad read, they're like, now personalize it at the end.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the way the Chinese Communist Party has worked well in my life is that they've contributed to every clothes that have ever covered my body.
Yeah.
I'd be naked in the streets if it wasn't for the CCCP.
Honestly, where would we be on this coronavirus vaccine without them? Of course.
I mean, I'm pretty sure they vaccinated, right? Like the virus came from Maryland, and then they created the vaccine in China.
Yeah.
The
Maryland one never got any. The problem with the Maryland story, and Tyler, are you familiar with this? That the Communist Chinese Communist Party, CCP. Yeah, the Chinese Communist Party put out a story, kind of on like state news in China that. It's like their conspiracy theory is that I was going to call coronavirus the Wuhan flu. I wasn't. No, I wasn't. But what if you guys found that out about me? Like, I just casually, while telling
you make those alt-right chainmail songs like everybody was Wuhan spreading.
Wait, what were we saying before that about COVID material? Blah blah blah.
Oh, how the Maryland. Here's what you were gonna say. You're saying
yeah.
it never really caught on, but in my opinion, there may be 1 billion people in the world who believe that.
So Tyler, they believe that there's a lab in Baltimore where it broke out, which I do still love that they, by the way, were like, where's a city that it could break out in the United States? Oh, Baltimore. Like, if you're from Baltimore, I'm so sorry that they just slammed you like that.
I know. They're like looked up, The Wire was
They didn't say Denver.
There.
There's no lab in Denver. There's no lab in, well, maybe San Francisco. Could be.
I could
we
see
do have that Prisoner Island thing going on over there.
And they do have a large Chinese population, which makes me think they wouldn't go for them.
Could
you know
be.
what I'm saying?
Could be.
I think San Francisco has the largest Chinese population in America.
Yeah, that's like a historic thing, right?
Yeah.
They kind of had to immigrate from somewhere. I don't know why San Francisco was the place they went.
It's because the Angel Island was Ellis Island West. That was the stopping point.
And now that's a prison.
Now it's like they do the like juvenile like rehabilitation camp away shit there.
Really?
Yeah, where they like take you out of your house, and if you're like a bad rich kid addicted to pills and shit, and you like rap, they like take you out of your fucking bedroom in the middle of the night and make you hike around Angel Island.
Here's how sad my upbringing was as a child. It's like I dreamed of that kind of attention. Like I always thought that seemed like cool. Like whenever you'd see kids on
anybody trying to save you in any way.
Yeah, I love that, man. Whenever like you'd see the sergeant instructor on TV yelling at the kid, I would always be like, it just seems cool to go to jail.
Or somebody cares at all.
Yeah.
Instead, it's just like nobody gives a shit.
Yeah. I took all that energy and just was sad with it. I didn't like go do anything destructive or try to get attention. I just internal with it, all of it. Welcome to the show.
I was just such a smooth con artist that like I never got the consequences I was begging for. Because I'm talking about like lying to police officers and all kinds of people and getting away with shit.
I should say that, yeah, I was really a sad kid until the 7th grade, and then I became a con artist really quick. I remember like I did some shit where I'm like, I still worry about the statute of limitations on some of the stuff I did, where I'm like, I think we took like a
Oh, yeah.
I'm probably gonna cut that out. I think I might still be in the statute of limitations.
No, I mean, you do what you need to do.
I'll bleep it.
You ever find yourself at 2 a.m. going on incognito browser, being like statute limitations for arson?
Just so you know, what's so funny is how people think that the incognito like hides that.
It just doesn't track your history, right? That's all it does.
You've put like when they track your phone, you've put one extra step on them when you went incognito. Like it didn't do much. Like there's just an extra thing they have to do.
It just means your girlfriend can't see you were looking at porn. They should call it. So your girlfriend doesn't know you're looking at porn browser.
Dude,
that's what they should. Yeah, incognito. That's all it is.
Ooh, is there any worse feeling than them touching your phone? Any worse feeling? Oh God. Don't try to type anything that starts with a Y. Don't try to type anything. Don't try to type one thing.
Yeah, I just picture you watching like hippie crystal porn where because hippies call their pussy a yoni. Yeah. You're going to like yoniliquors.com.
Every once in a while I fuck.
Just hairy bush.
Every once in a while I fuck up. I completely forget, and I'm like, I go, oh, here's a cute picture. Take a look at this, and I go, oh fuck, no. Let me see.
What are you screenshotting this shit?
No, who the hell know? I just go at any moment. I have no idea what could be there. It could be anything. There could be deals with pawn shop owners. I have no idea.
I mean, I have a lot
It's probably not that.
I have a lot of porn screenshot on my phone because I like to send it to people. It's super fun. Yeah, if you find like really like Zach Stein is a friend of Tyler and I's. You have certain friends that you would will appreciate this.
You know what, man? That's a sick perversion that I don't understand in any capacity. I don't know why you would ever publicly acknowledge to anybody that you've masturbated.
I didn't say I beat off to it.
I keep that close to the vest. Have you noticed how on the show I never once said that I jacked off?
No, I haven't been keeping track. No.
No. Well, if you guys play back, you'll notice I never once admitted to it.
This is my first time ever living with a girlfriend. I don't think I've jacked off since she moved in.
Do you guys live together now?
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's been a year.
That you've been living together?
No.
Oh, I'm like, Jesus, Bryan, do we never talk? Like, wow, man.
I don't even live at that house anymore. I just rent the room to record there, and I
Bryan,
never told you.
You own a home now? Bryan's like, yeah, man. Turns out the city of commerce is really awesome opportunities. We just never talk. We've never found the time to talk about it.
I own a house in Vernon or one of those stupid cities that you don't understand why it exists.
They're like, yeah, it's a city which mainly exists only to cover sewage.
Yeah, exactly.
Vernon is one of those places.
I had to go to Vernon. I used to, when I worked for a event company, you got all our china and silverware from an Israeli dude in Vernon. And they always sent me there because I pretended I liked him a lot. But really what I did, I just told everybody that, oh, my God, he never shuts up. He goes on and on. But he's actually really efficient, really quick.
Sure.
For that. So I would just get to China and then go take a nap in the van. And then I text him, God, he told me some story about his daughter going to college.
Did you ever say to him, did you ever go, it's weird that I'm getting all this china from an Israeli?
No, I never said that to him. That's super funny, though.
That's not. I feel like
yeah,
that's
it's super funny. That's real witty.
That's a pretty good place to start a conversation.
I mean, I wish I had. I mostly yelled at him about the occupation.
He's probably, dude. God bless him. God bless him. All right, let's start the show. Worst Hour Podcast. You guys know what you're listening to. Hopefully, at this point, you know what you're listening to.
You motherfuckers know.
Brand new studio. Whole team in-house. Socially distant, of course. Although you and I are not socially distant, but you're safe at this point.
I'm safe.
For
Negative.
at least 3 months, you're safe.
I know, until I get it a third time.
Until we get the gamma ray.
The Lambda.
Yeah, whatever the next one that's going to be.
Isn't Lambda the Revenge of the Nerds frat house? It is? Yeah.
It's, of course Tyler knew that right away. Tyler was waiting for us to bring up a Revenge of the Nerds question. Tyler, we're in a much different setup today, so I'm still trying to figure out. It looks like the scene in Reservoir Dogs where everybody's pointing the gun at each other right now, the way that we're podcasting, just because we're in a perfect triangle.
Yeah, I'm looking right here, and it looks like I'm looking at neither of you, but I have both of you in my periphery. So if anybody wanted to draw something, I mean, I could see it coming.
Yeah. We're out here in West Hollywood. Special thank you to Melrose Podcasts for having us. We have a wonderful show today. Obama turned 60 years old.
Can you believe it? Where has the time gone?
The time is flying by with Obama.
Cool party though.
Some people covered the party. We'll take a look at that. We'll see what that was like. Also, there was an American-born ISIS. I was gonna call her an ISIS chick. She's just a woman, I think.
She joined ISIS.
Was she on? Okay, so
we'll talk about that later.
She's an American-born. Her parents, if I understand correctly, joined ISIS, and she was just happened to be born.
Oh, you're talking about the child.
The child.
Oh, sorry. Yes, an 8-year-old. She was born in America or Sweden, one of the others.
8-year-old, by the way. Speaking of which, we have a pretty sad child-heavy story today, or stories today. There's also an 8-year-old who's currently facing possibly the death penalty.
Let me. Later on. I was just gonna say later on. I'm gonna take. I don't know what country it is yet, so I'm gonna guess. We'll play guess which country may be executing an 8-year-old child. You know that recurring segment.
It's unlikely, according to the article. However, it's not off the table. So we'll check in.
You got to keep your options open.
You got to keep it open. And, by the way, there's a new book about the secrets of Osama Bin Laden. I love every time the news has secrets about Osama Bin Laden that come out. Ooh, I'm always in on every single one of them.
I don't want to ruin it, but let's just say the secrets don't necessarily get juicier as they get released.
No, they milk the same fucking juice, the same secrets all the way through.
Let me guess, there was some porn.
I'm into all of it. No, there's a couple things here that I think are a little surprising. I
do know one particular detail I can't wait to talk about.
I will say this. If my girlfriend wanted me to ever read something important, she should label it up top, Hidden Secrets of Osama Bin Laden's Compound.
Right.
I will read that document 100% of the time.
It's just the Karma Sutra.
Whatever, man. It could be anything. It could be anything. If you need me to read something, just label it that. I've read every single article.
Speaking of Karma Sutra, do you think kids could beat off to that now? Like, now that they have porn on their phones, do you think they could beat off to the kind of shit we beat off to as kids? Like a catalog?
No.
You don't think they could get it up and come to it? What do you think, Tyler?
No, I think I think they have to be.
I think when they're at a young age and they still haven't got video porn yet, then yeah.
But I'm saying, like, say 9 years old, or 10 years old, they have a phone.
No.
I don't know. I don't know how ages. I don't know when. I came out jizzing right out the womb, so I don't know.
Probably 13 is probably the age where it goes down, but I don't know. Maybe dudes are getting boners earlier. You know what I mean? We looked into the developing female body, but whenever I try to look into the developing young man's body, all of a sudden I'm a weirdo. Oh, we noticed trends about how they're hitting puberty there.
I would say you're weird looking at either, honestly.
Yeah, you're probably right about that. But, I'm sure they're getting hornier earlier.
That's a tough question to ask because it'd be like, you can't go up to, hey there, little kid. Could you jack it to this? You think you could jack it to this?
Yeah, well, it would be...
Not right now. Jeez, dear God, not right now.
That's a study that would be conducted at Trump University.
Yeah.
Before it closed.
It's the evolution of the libido.
Scientists are studying. Are kids getting boners earlier? It seems like something Trump would be interested in. We got to figure out how to stop it or make it go earlier. Whatever the direction you want to go in.
He doesn't want anybody more virile than him.
No, absolutely not. No.
And honestly, I don't know if that's possible. I don't know if there's ever been anybody more virile than him.
Truly, I agree with you. I see why his children also are such winners too. Those loins.
Barron is like 9 feet tall at this point.
Barron is honestly a good piece of ass.
I hope Barron goes to the NBA.
Barron, by the way, all of the president's kids, I never have any idea how old they are. I feel like I see them one day they're 9 and the next day they're 25.
I think Barron is probably edited out calling him a nice piece of ass age. I would say that somewhere around there.
How old is Barron Trump? I need to know that. Whoa.
Sorry.
That's my phone again, dude.
It was just full of porn.
I've trained my phone that if the Face ID is not my face, it
explodes.
It wipes. Factory reset.
15.
Oh, yeah. 15 years old.
Oh, we'll be editing that part out.
Yeah. Look at his height though. He's 15 years old, Barron Trump, and I believe he's 6'5" or something already.
Dude, Wikipedia says 6'7".
He's 15 years old and 6'7". Tell me Donald Trump is not the most virile. He birthed a giant.
In defense, okay, but
he sired a giant.
The con argument there is his son does have the body of Inspector Gadget. It's not like a good 6'7". He's not like,
and he is wearing those Robert De Niro Irishman shoes that are basically stripper platforms.
Yeah. So he's fine. He's fine.
6'7" at 15, dude.
I take back what I said about him earlier. He's fine. He's not that. Okay, I take that back too. Okay.
He looks like royalty. He looks like like an inbred like French prince.
Yeah, he's got it. He's definitely got, but also his mom's got some pretty good genes on her too.
Does he have his mom's legs?
Does his mom have good genes, or is it all? I have no idea. I'm not sure what's an implant and what isn't an implant on her.
Do you remember the Robin Leach Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous video that went viral when Trump decided he was running for president, and he was sitting next to his wife in '94, Marla Maples at the time, and I forget which daughter it was. But they're like, tell me one thing your daughter has from your father and from your mother. And Donald goes, well, I'd like to think she has my intelligence, and she definitely has her mother's legs. And he goes, we don't know about this part. And then he made tits shapes with his hands. We don't know if she'll have her tits.
It's the beginning of the end, man. What a sad. I guess nobody would have ever thought that that's where it's going to start. What a sad thing that happened to this country. It didn't happen to this country. It was inevitable. We were set up for it from the beginning.
100%. As soon as JFK got elected for being hot, we went down that road.
It was over. Yeah,
Yep.
we should have. Society would be so much better if we kept presidential debates on the radio.
Yeah.
Listen to the Patreon for the other part of that conversation.
Yeah. So Barron Trump, 6'7".
6'7", and 15 years old. Let's make it clear, folks. All right. Before we get into the show today, Brian, I'm almost nervous to ask this question to you. It does say here on our outline that because we are preppers for the show, we take it very seriously. You regained your sense of smell?
No, when I wrote that in, I temporarily could smell, and it's gone away since. So I tried everything. I've been doing aromatherapy, where I almost do a blind taste. They tell you I'm following every TikTok viral challenge on how to get or not challenge, but tips on how to get your.
It's so funny that they got to call it challenges now.
Yeah, I know.
my
Get your smell back challenge.
Yeah.
my Lexapro is like the feel better challenge. Like,
Get your serotonin back challenge.
Wake up every day, take one of these pills, drink a glass of water.
And tell us what happens.
It's just the directions.
Yeah. So, you're fucking, you're burning oranges on the stovetop and mashing them into bowls and mixing them with brown sugar. And
that's what was told to you. It's
That's
so
one of
almost
them.
like it's like you're taking a defibrillator right to your taste
Yes.
buds is what you're doing.
Yeah, you're trying to jumpstart the olfactory nerve.
Any work? Does that work at all?
That did not work for me. And then you're supposed to I have all these essential oils, and you're supposed to smell different essential oils: orange, lemon, frankincense, lavender, that kind of shit.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm smelling that, and then I got a steroidal nasal spray,
Mm-hmm.
and I took the steroidal nasal spray, and I ripped ass super hard right after.
Right after that,
And I was like, "Oh my god!" It smelled like there was a sewage pipe just dumping into my room. And my reaction, I swear to God, I went from "Oh my god" to "Oh my god!" In my whole face, I was like, "It smells like shit in here!" And I was just running around, opening the shutters out of the window.
Like shit in here.
Marianne, it smells like shit in here.
Sticks his finger in it. I have my sense of taste.
This tastes like shit. I lost my mind, and then all of a sudden, I had a Dumb and Dumber, kind of bubbly thing. And I went to the bathroom, and I just blew my bathroom up, and I was like, "This is horrible!" And I was losing my mind. And so I went downstairs, and I tried to cook some food, and I tasted it, and it was all right. I'm doing the Whole30 diet. I can't eat junk food right now anyway, so I was just tasting healthy foods.
Yeah.
And I was like, whatever.
And you don't even know if you have your taste back at that point.
No idea. So then later on that night,
You can't eat broccoli and be like, I think I have my
Yeah.
taste. There's no. It's
No.
just a feeling, really.
so then I later that night, I'm all happy. I'm confident, big dick swinging, thinking I'm smelling and tasting. And I rip a giant ass fart in front of my girlfriend. Or she's not in the room. Sorry. I ripped a giant fart, and she's not in the room. She comes in, and she goes, "Oh, my God!" And I was like, I don't smell it. And the nasal spray just gave me a little bit. It's the nasal spray right now. Gives me a little window of smelling.
Can I say something? We on this show have talked about a lot of things, right? A lot of really interesting things. We talked about, the dismemberment of Jamal Khashoggi.
Yep.
Khashoggi.
Yep.
We talked about
Uyghur concentration camps.
Uyghur concentration camps. We talked about the party that they do on that river in the Ganges River.
The Alexander Lukashenko stealing the Belarusian election.
We talked about all that stuff. I've never seen Tyler more riveted by a story. Tyler was looking at you when you were telling that story like he was following you on that journey.
Yeah.
Up the incline, down, on the loop. He was there every step of the way.
So when my girlfriend walked in and was like, "Oh my God," and the smell, I grabbed all the essential oils and did a blind smell, and I was like, "Put these on my nose and I'll guess." Got them all wrong.
Yeah, there's no
Yeah. She was like, I was calling lavender,
just
lemon.
really good pharmaceutical nasal spray.
Right, and then I think that nasal spray is making me snore because I fell asleep and I was snoring. So she woke me up. And she said I broke up with her in my sleep because she woke me up, because I'm a fucking dick if you wake me up. But she said she woke me up because I was snoring right in her face, which I don't normally snore anymore. And she said, I woke me up, and then I go, I don't think this is going to work out. And then I rolled over, and then apparently I go, ooh, a private plane, and then ripped ass again.
You guys just moved in together?
It's been a while now.
Ooh.
She's in for hell. I mean, you touch me when I'm asleep, I dump you, and then I fart on you.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly what you call a catch, but luckily, she's my age, so I'm the last branch on the way down.
I don't care if you wake me up, but it's tough to wake me up. I'm a pretty deep sleeper.
Are you? Well, you probably pass the fuck out because you're high on caffeine all day.
Yeah.
Your body just shuts down.
It's a lot of ZQL I'm taking down too. I'm on a lot.
You are not gonna live long. You've made peace with that, right?
It's an antihistamine.
You're not gonna live long.
Oh, what? Just like it's like exactly what you would take if you had allergies.
You're leveling out like you're fucking Michael Jackson. You're speeding up all day and then slowing down at night.
My shit, dude. I live hard and medium speed.
Dude, Michael Jackson used to take fentanyl and he would call it his blanket. That's why his kid's named Blanket. His kid is named after his drug addiction. If you had access to this, if you had a doctor who could administer an appropriate amount of fentanyl to you to sleep every night, you no doubt would do it.
We were talking about this earlier on the Patreon last week, and this is exactly why I will never try heroin or any other, serious drug. I know
you would love it.
There's going to be a problem. Heroin is not going to be my thing, but meth will for sure. I'll be way into meth. There's no way.
Do you see meth?
I was into meth. I've done meth before.
Do you see meth heads walking around and you just like, I get that.
Yeah.
You see that and you're like, I understand that. Because that's when I see a guy pass out on a bench on heroin, I'm like, there's no confusion here. I totally understand wanting to do that.
By the way, Hollywood the funny thing about Hollywood is the first one of the first major places where you had the dispensaries so readily available for adult use. Probably no city that you want to be high in less. A very scary place to be high. I mean, I'm literally thinking about. I feel like moving to Hollywood will be good for me because I will smoke significantly less weed.
It's wild. Like the fact that everybody's looking at their phone and high in a mid-zombie invasion. I mean, there's literally flesh-eating people all around you.
Yeah. You're seeing like something.
The encampment outside of Tyler's house is one of the it looks like a movie set. If you saw it, you'd be like, okay, dial it back, Spielberg. Like that is not what homeless people do. If you saw, it's a pirate ship under a fucking overpass.
There's a wooden construction site.
Yeah. And there's literally two different societies. There's like a society that completely ignores the other one, and by the way, they've gotten pretty good at ignoring the other society. So it's just this weird world where there's this alternate. It's not easy to be high in that environment. You do trip out a little bit too much.
And you want your wits about you, and you don't want to be over empathetic. Like as crazy as that sounds, it sounds totally rude. But like when you get high, you can get a little over empathetic. And if you walk around the suffering that is in Los Angeles, you'll fucking go Elliott Smith and stab your chest.
Yeah, you want to do a little coke, maybe walk around town.
Yeah,
that seems like a little
coke.
Like,
you're just high as fuck on coke. You're like, fuck these people. They didn't work hard enough.
That seems
fuckers.
You don't want to be high on weed. Yeah.
Fuck you.
I feel like I could do a line and walk around Hollywood with no feelings. There was a huge border conflict that was required for me to get this coke. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
100%.
There's a lot of bloodshed. Somebody got their tongue cut out of their face.
Tyler, in fact, do you have a picture that you could send me? I want to add it into this video.
No.
A picture of what?
Of the construction?
Yeah, it's there. So the homeless encampment under Tyler's overpass is anti-vax.
Yeah. And anti-mask.
How do you know? How do you know that the
giant slogans spray painted on the wall behind their Swiss Family Robinson fucking construction, just like only you controls what goes in your body and all this shit.
You know, it sucks. I agree. As a libertarian, I'm here with you, folks. I get it. It is a compelling argument they make. Listen. If we're going to start telling people what they can and can't do with their bodies, well, are we just going to say goodbye to Jackass? Is that what we're going to do? There won't be a Jackass 5.
Why won't there be a Jackass?
People need to have complete freedom to do whatever they want with their bodies. Okay?
Wait, so the vaccine is going to lead to no more Jackass?
Well, mandating it. Yeah.
Mandating it?
Mandating it will lead to no more Jackass.
Honestly, like Jackass specifically, I think it would be a good thing if somebody forced them to stop.
You know, you make a compelling point, actually.
Johnny Knoxville, you're 55 years old. Get out of the cannon, dog.
You're, I think, a multimillionaire. I don't know what their personal finances are like. I gotta believe if you have been a stuntman for 25 years, might have the best personal finances.
An on-camera stuntman, though.
Yeah, I like that he got like 1 or 2 roles like on camera because you obviously came to be an actor. He's so beautiful.
He did the Old Man movie.
He did that. He was in Men in Black as well.
Oh, and he did that movie with everybody else had Down syndrome.
That was a.
What was that movie called?
Wait,
The
what
Ringer.
movie?
The Johnny Knoxville.
The
Everybody.
Ringer.
Yeah.
The Ringer.
I think Jeff Ross also wrote that movie, and he had to like. I really think he had to like fight to like get his name removed from that movie. As would I if I were involved in such a movie.
The first time he used his real name.
It's here's the here's the thing is that you go like it's just a tough place to be because those guys want to be in the movie. I think.
Yeah,
Why
I
not?
mean, they probably love the craft services. I do.
I would love to. I would absolutely be in any movie. Regardless of how it spoke about my community.
And I bet Johnny Knoxville resonate. I bet that like his content probably was a hit with them.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I mean, maybe.
I don't know.
I'm not gonna presume.
There's probably a community. There isn't one that I know less of. I have very little interactions. I had, one dude with Down syndrome licked my face. He pushed me up against a locker and licked my face in 7th grade, and that is about the extent of my experiences. Nobody in my family.
No experiences either.
Anybody in your family?
I have a cousin.
You sound like you do have a family where like the jury's out on whether or not
anything is real. My my cousin's pretty. He's on the spectrum, and very severely on the spectrum. So he's not Down syndrome, but he is on the spectrum severely. Obviously, completely different thing here, but the family really does refuse to acknowledge it, and it is not good. And then I also have a family member with schizophrenia.
I have 2 cousins that like we can't even. I don't even know how to talk about them in the modern context because they're like just plain. You know what I mean? There isn't like a word.
They're special.
There's not a specific condition they have. They're just run of the mill.
I don't know if that's true. I don't know if there's such thing as
run
of the mill.
What I'm telling you is this is how they talked about them. I don't know now. I'm trying to be sensitive about it, but this is how I was told as a child.
I think you're trying really hard to be sensitive about it. I don't think you're being purposefully offensive in any capacity.
No.
I just wanted to step in and say there's probably not a run-of-the-mill diagnosis.
Just like,
oh, he's got your garden variety.
You know what? Like this is. We were in Maine, but in the South they would say that boy ain't right, kind of thing. Like just a garden variety. Yeah, but
my cousin is full-blown. I talked about it on the show, but I want to reiterate it for the new listeners. My cousin is straight up schizophrenic, and everybody in the family is just like, oh, he's just into ISIS now. Like he's radical Muslim. Like because he grew his beard out and he started like talking about God and stuff all the time. So rather than admit he has a mental illness, they're like, he's just in ISIS now.
That's a
Imagine how much easier it is for them to deal with that. They're like, it's way easier to deal with the idea that our son joined ISIS.
Yeah, I mean, I could see where that happens. I could see that line of logic. It's not a crazy leap to me.
It's really not a crazy leap. And in fact, maybe a lot of ISIS is probably.
I mean,
not all of them. But
how obnoxious would I be if I had a cousin who was in ISIS? I'd be so stoked.
I
wouldn't. You're not stoked, but I'd be eager to drop it in a conversation. Hi, my name's Bryan. I have a cousin who's in ISIS.
I'm saddened for the fact that none of my family members are in Hamas.
Yeah,
I'm actually pretty close to that kind of a reality.
Yeah.
You know, Hamas is actually a political party, so cousins. You know, I'm close to that, but I don't have any cousins who are.
What colors does Hamas wave?
I'm not. That's a good question. If there was a couple of victories every now and then, maybe I would know. No, I think it's like a green color.
It's probably red, green, and black.
Green. No, I think it's just green. Because I've seen it.
It's green on green font, like the Metallica Black album. You can't see the logo at all.
Because occasionally you'll see a guy in Hamas who kind of looks like he's wearing a green screen suit. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Like the Philly Fanatic?
Yeah, he looks just like that. I think it is kind of a green and gold situation. It's not great colors. I'll say that. All right, let's get into the show today, man. We got a fantastic one. Barack Obama, happy birthday. Turned 60 years old this week.
Had a big party in, was it Martha's Vineyard?
His mansion in Martha's Vineyard.
People love to scowl. It's like, come on, can't the former president of the United States be rich?
He literally used to be the most important person on the planet.
He can't have a nice house?
His Martha's Vineyard is a $12 million mansion. I understand. That's a lot of money. But
Maybe not to the president.
Look, it makes us all a little bit uncomfortable that we're like the president made some money. But he literally used to be a Harvard law professor.
Mm-hmm.
He was from there he was a state senator, and then he was the president. He's gonna have a few dollars saved.
Yeah, he was a senator.
The credit system is, I imagine, kind to him.
So, I would imagine a speech fetches quite a penny for him.
We just live in this.
That's another thing. One of the greatest orators of our generation.
We live in this world where, look, it doesn't feel great, but it makes more sense that Obama has a nice house than The Rock. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
We're like completely comfortable with The Rock having $255 billion.
Yeah.
But the guy who's literally managing foreign policy for 8 years and the most stressful job on the planet, we're like, it's a little uncomfortable that you have a $12 million house.
And they act like just because he had policies that were, quote unquote, sensitive to impoverished people, that he's a hypocrite for having money.
Yeah.
As if you can't care about both.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's so stupid. But I mean, like I said, the guy made all his money giving speeches. Find a better. I mean, listen, would I rather watch a Trump speech? Yes, but that's because I'm in the comedy world.
Well,
but when you're grading actual oration, that's the greatest in my generation.
Obama speaking is like when you took you would take like a public speaking class, like you'd all watch Obama as the example of like what you're supposed to do according to what they're teaching you.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
He's using colloquialisms and he's gesturing the exact right amount. He's looking everybody perfectly in the
And he
eyes.
didn't have a dumb accent like JFK.
No,
and he didn't have like that old man rasp like Reagan. Like he was just a perfect speech giver.
Yeah. So, but Trump is perfect in his own way.
He's way more entertaining.
It's more entertaining. Yeah.
But when Obama did know how to deliver a joke, whenever he had
the
press correspondence or whatever,
knock one home or whatever, because look,
I mean, he roasted Trump so hard he made him president.
People say, yeah, it's not an easy gig. Somebody could write all the jokes or all the comedy for you in the world, but you got to deliver it at the end of the day. And we've seen people like Hillary had writers. Hillary could not.
No.
Oh man, nothing makes me want to crawl out of my skin more than watching Hillary Clinton.
You know who could deliver a joke?
Do anything.
I know. John McCain.
Oh yeah, John McCain was
actually. I was watching a mid-2000. Was McCain the first one he ran against? Yeah, it was McCain then Romney, right? Yeah. So 2008, heat of the election, 2 weeks away from the election, they did some kind of dinner, where they roasted each other.
Oh yeah.
And McCain slaughtered.
McCain was like, "Salam alaikum, Barack."
Barack.
That shit would have been so fucking funny.
I know.
Like, Eid Mubarak, my friend.
Yeah. What if he interrupted Obama's speech with Adnan or whatever the prayer?
He came out dressed like a Muslim guy. McCain was wearing a costume.
He has a fake snake under it. Obama, you left your pet here. He's gonna be you really want the first president who has a pet cobra in the White House?
Not even close to religion. Not even close to the same culture.
just playing a clarinet with a cobra.
So funny.
Yeah.
that would have been so great, man.
Yeah, he's like, Obama says we're going to spend $8 billion on healthcare. What lamp is he rubbing?
What did you think about the pictures, by the way, and the festivities over here?
Well,
it's
like really funny how Fox will spend 2 hours saying that you can't complaining that you can't have a gathering. And then Obama has a gathering as if he's the president now making the rules.
Yeah.
They should be stoked on this fucking party because he's not in charge of anything, because he's an advocate for vaccines. They tried to make this a story. It was like the 24 hours of a 24-hour news cycle was a hypocrite Obama because he had 400 people, but they were, doing the temperature check. Everybody was vaccinated.
I kept reading a maskless Obama walked around
at his home.
Come on, man.
Who gives a shit?
This is where you guys all lose me 100% of the
Also,
time because this should be something you're for. Like even Obama's agreeing with, you know.
How is this a story when baseball is selling out stadiums all over the country? Football is starting to sell out stadiums. UFC is selling out. Boxing is selling. We've moved on.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how it's a fucking controversy. Every day stadiums are full. Concerts are full. And because, you know, and they try to, because Fox hasn't caught on to the fact that weed is just normal now. So there's like 2 pictures of a DJ who was DJing Trump's party smoking a blunt, and they're like
DJing Obama's party.
Yeah, the DJ at Obama's party seen here smoking cannabis.
Dude, you know, and I hate to keep pitting these guys against each other, but God, would I hate to go to an Obama's birthday party? That would be just such a thing. You're like, you got a fucking Lady Gaga's gonna be. You'd feel so inconsequential there.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Well, he scaled it down from 700 to 400, and they said some of the names that were cut off who didn't make the second, the scale down. It was Stephen Colbert got cut, Conan got cut.
Yeah, they did say like 4 or 5 late night hosts.
Yeah,
They all got cut.
They all got cut from the list.
Nothing political. I'm putting it out there. I would go to Trump's birthday party publicly. If his people are listening and they want to make it happen, because there's a good shot I might be one of the biggest celebrities there.
Yeah, I
with
mean,
our podcast.
Yeah, it would be Scott Baio, maybe.
There's a shot. Like, if you are a celebrity and you go to Trump's thing, there's a shot you're the number 1 guy there.
I guarantee you the entire Expendables cast goes to every Trump party.
Mickey Rourke.
Yeah, everybody who's in the Expendables voted for Donald Trump.
It's like a good A-list in the 70s.
Yeah, the 80s, 70s. Yeah, you got Schwarzenegger, Stallone, you got Stone Cold. Actually, he's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. I think Bruce Willis appeared in there a little bit.
Yeah, Bruce Willis.
Mickey Rourke, though.
Yeah, they're all Republicans, dude.
It's just the A-list celebrity hangout that is. It would just be too fucking much for me, man.
Yeah. Oh no, I mean you're hanging out with Oprah and like Jay-Z,
Tom Brady's there.
Lady Gaga, Tom Brady with his hair plugs.
Yeah.
Dude, he looks super hair plugged out.
Oh really?
Yeah, Tom Brady's hair. You know how I think they give you that messy kind of curated look with your. I think his hair is it's like permanently like looks like it's waving in the wind.
Yeah.
It's really weird looking.
I gotta give him my guy. Do you guys know I'm hair plugged?
What if that's why I shaved my head? What if I came back to the pod with your exact hair because it was the cheapest?
Yeah, they're like
curly hair.
We have fresh shaved alpaca if you'd like.
I come in looking like Bob Ross.
I really would absolutely love that.
So, Brian, why'd you shave your hair? And you're just like, I had a mental breakdown.
Yes, Brian's got a flat top.
The Schwarzenegger flat top.
I would love that so much.
Dude, if we get the Patreon up enough, I will get hair plugs as a goof.
Yeah, so hopefully if we start making 20 or 30 grand a month,
I'll get a down payment on some plugs.
Yeah,
Do they
man.
cost that much?
I'm all for. They're pretty expensive. I just spoke to a guy, not for my own personal need, just because, honestly, really, truthfully, I wouldn't mind if my hair thinned out just a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
Such an opposite.
Are we talking
problem
your head
for
or
me.
your chest?
Everywhere. I get it. Very funny, but not. Very funny. Arab guys, hairy, blah, 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 blah. But just so the listeners know, I have a regular amount of hair. I have whatever the average amount of hair to have on your chest is. I have that on my personal chest.
You also are the average height, allegedly, as well, right?
No, I am shorter than the average height. I'm not gonna.
Okay. So now you're honest here just to make your hair thing seem a little more believable.
A real
You're
honest
selling
guy.
a bill of goods over here, Badawi.
I was speaking to a guy who was telling me that he was thinking about hair plugs, and he said it was like he went to a place. Well, first of all, he fucked up. He responded to an ad that was like $5,000, and we'll get hair in your head or something like that. It was like, he said it's per session. Right, and you need probably like 5 or 6, so it's around 30 grand for like a shitty job.
For a shitty job,
I think this guy responded. It was 30 grand, and the guy responded to like a billboard.
Who do you think has the best hair plugs? Do you think? Because I think Steve Carell has really good ones.
Steve Carell has amazing ones.
Elon Musk has amazing ones.
Elon Musk has great ones. I didn't even know Elon Musk had a hair plug. I didn't, but I'm now realizing I'm thinking about old pictures of him. He absolutely
He was
does.
bald in his 20s.
Joel McHale
Oh, yeah, he has good ones.
You see Joel McKellen like that old
Yeah.
Burger King commercial, and
Yeah.
he looks like he looks like somebody who just got fired.
Yeah. And now he looks like my son.
He's like now he looks like he's on standby for hosting American Idol at any moment. He looks perfect.
He's beautiful. Who else you got?
For hair plugs, I think
Yeah.
we just named all of them.
Steve Carell's are amazing.
They're really
I
amazing.
suggest you guys Google that.
Not
you
really.
can just see that on The Office. The change
Season
from,
1
like,
to
season
3.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. Okay.
Is that real hair?
The hair plugs?
Yeah.
I thought they pulled it off of you. I thought they pulled it off of you and sprouted it into your head. And
So how does that work? So it just starts growing because they.
I believe, and when I say I believe, it's not based on knowledge, just sort of the belief system that I have, that they plant it into your head and it grows like a plant. Like they transplant it because they always talk about hair transplanting. Don't they graft other skin onto your head?
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, see, because I'd like to fill in
Yeah.
the forehead. I've always had a giant forehead.
You should do my hairstyle.
I will.
Exactly.
Just on the sides, though. Just a little pious.
Brian would-
Little rabbi pious.
People would assume Brian's mom is African American.
Oh, man. I still don't get booked on anything.
Dude, you would look like we give you maybe we get you some blue contacts.
Yeah,
Make
oh,
you
that'd
look
be
like
sick.
a beautiful young man.
Oh, yeah. Like an Eritrean.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Dude, the reinventing of Bryan for 2022 is gonna fucking kick ass.
Yeah, I'm going to have curly hair,
Curly
and
hair,
blue
blue
eyes.
What ethnicity is this guy?
Eritrean.
You'll never know. Hey, don't say anything.
Sorry.
You'll never know.
I guarantee he doesn't know what Eritrea
I
is.
don't know.
No, that's not what Tyler's.
It's something from Avatar.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, the point is Obama's party was lit. It was a fire party for sure, dude.
Seemed like a fun time. Happy birthday, Barack Obama.
But the other thing I want to say about it is I love when Fox News tries to juice a scandal out of something. One of the main things it was on the front page of their website, and it was scrolling every 2 seconds on the bottom of their channel, was saying that Obama's maskless birthday party causes severe traffic jam in Martha's Vineyard.
Yeah.
Who gives a fuck that there's a traffic jam in Martha's Vineyard? I don't even know where that is.
Yeah.
What state is that?
Massachusetts.
Every president has like their hangout where I never know where it is. It's kind of ambiguous.
The Bushes are in Maine. They're in Kennebunkport. You got Kennebunkport. You got Martha's Vineyard.
Yeah, you got to have some kind of a vague.
Camp David. Where's that?
Camp David is not. I thought that's like for everybody.
That's the president vacation home. It's like the Airbnb for presidents.
It's got to be like Maryland or.
That's where you go. That's where they go to start a fire and unwind.
It's so funny. Well, I assume those have been upgraded, but maybe they have not because it just seems like it would be like a shitty place to stay. But
George Bush was always out with the chainsaw.
In Camp David.
Yeah, he was always just like, in the middle of interviews, he would just start the chainsaw. And
I like how Palestinians were supposed to show up to Camp David and be like, "So this is a fair thing, right? This is called Camp David." It seems like
I forgot that they tried to make peace with Israelis and Palestinians at Camp David.
It seems like a rough place to start a negotiation between the two.
Camp Rabbi.
I don't think David was a Palestinian guy.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
I mean, imagine how they would feel if it was Camp Ali.
If it was Camp Dawood, okay.
Yeah.
I have an uncle named Dawood.
We all do. Dawood?
Daw for short.
Yeah, Daw.
That's Dave in Arabic. Daw. Okay. What else have we got? Oh, so here's the story with this Pakistani kid. Damn it! Did I give it away?
Oh, yeah, you did. I was gonna guess what country. Pakistan's got a lot of shit going on right now.
Look, everybody, life is complicated, especially some of the problems that surround what's going on with, the Islamic world.
Do you know the Prime Minister of Pakistan?
Pakistan, actually.
Pakistan.
I'll just say the opposite again.
The Prime Minister of Pakistan is an old cricket player.
Sure.
He's a
right.
He's a celebrity cricket player.
I feel like celebrity. It's not just us who are star fuckers. Everybody's a star fucker ultimately. So yeah, absolutely makes sense that would be the case. And look, it's complicated. The Islamic world, it's a complicated place. But it's tough for your culture when I tell you an 8-year-old is about to be executed for blasphemy laws. you know exactly what part of the world that is, and you know what law, you know.
Yeah.
You know it's not a Catholic thing. You know?
And it had its time when that would have been.
Sure.
That, you know, about 300 years ago.
The problem with that being there weren't iPhones around. Like, that's my problem.
Yeah.
My problem is, totally get it, 800 years ago. Now you have an iPhone. Do we have to try an 8-year-old? Like, is there really?
Now, what did this 8-year-old do?
Hit play because
before I answer that question, I need to know what he or she.
it's a young man, and
He's 8 years old.
well,
Oh, we're checking in with Wyon, my favorite news station.
they go over it in detail, and I'll tell you, it's a little bit complicated.
This news channel editorializes in a way that I love.
Yeah, go ahead.
Free, open and inclusive. Well, these are also words that don't exist in Pakistan's dictionary.
I like how they
Last
opened
week,
up
a
with a
temple
perfect
was desecrated in the
editorialization.
country. This week, a minor has been charged with blasphemy, a child, all of 8 years old, whose alleged actions triggered the attack on the temple. He has now become the youngest person to be charged with Pakistan's draconian blasphemy law, a law which also carries a death penalty. Pakistan has a long history of exploiting this law to target Hindus and Christians living on its soil.
If you're
There's a-
Christian in Pakistan, good God,
Yeah.
like, can
is
I?
a
just
sensitive
go
topic
south?
in Pakistan.
Where's your Patreon?
Where
If you're a Christian in
97% of
Pakistan,
the
give me your
population
Patreon
is
right
Muslim.
now.
Hundreds of victims of the blasphemy law have been languishing in Pakistani jails for years.
Yeah.
But
The
I still
latest
haven't heard what he
victim
did.
is an 8-year-old boy, the youngest to be charged under this draconian law. This is the Bhong
Now, this particular
village
news network,
in the
brevity's not
Rahim
really
Yar
their
Khan
thing.
district of
Right.
Pakistan.
Well, specifically when it's their arch rivals,
It is one of
Pakistan,
the
any
most
chance to bury
conservative
them.
and orthodox places in Pakistan.
Would he take a piss?
Last week, a
Yeah.
temple was
Is that it?
desecrated
Yeah.
in this village. A group of vandals ransacked the temple, smashed idols of Hindu gods, and telecast their actions live to send a message to Hindus living in the area. What triggered this hate? The alleged actions of an 8-year-old Hindu boy. The child has been accused of urinating at a madrasa. We will not reveal the name of the boy in the interests of his safety.
Well, that's the kind of you guys
What
to
we
do.
can tell you is that the child is being held in custody on charges of blasphemy. He has become the youngest person ever to be charged with
So
blasphemy
did he like
in
piss
Pakistan,
himself? Did he
a
piss
crime
on
that carries
something?
a
My
death
understanding is he
penalty
seems
in
to have
this
used
country.
the bathroom
The case has
at
shocked
a madrasa, which
everyone,
is just a
including
religious
legal
school.
experts who say the
It's
charges
just an
against the
insane
child
thing
should
to
be
be like,
dropped
well,
immediately. Some are
the
questioning
piss of
why the
one
vandals
person
who
that's
desecrated the
Hindu
temple
is
face
sort of
no such charges.
disrespectful. Obviously,
Why
our
would
toilets
they?
are meant to be,
In
carry the piss
Pakistan,
of
these
Muslims.
laws are
So
only
we're gonna cut
used
your fucking
against
head off.
those accused of blaspheming against Islam.
So they went and
not
smashed a
other
Hindu
religions.
temple and live streamed it. That's
According
not
to
blasphemy
one estimate,
because it's
a
an
total
Islamic
of
republic.
1,472 people
I
were
really,
charged for blasphemy
I shudder to say
between
this, but it's not very
1987 and
Islamic of
2016.
them. You know, I think that this is
Interestingly,
more to
the
do with
majority of
just
the accused
hating
were
the
Muslims
ethnic groups
accused
that
of
are.
disrespecting
Well, I mean,
their religion.
it's no secret that India
501
and
were Ahmadiyya
Pakistan have
Muslims,
weapons pointed at each other,
205
ready to
were
fire at all
Christians,
times.
Hold
and
on, check this out
26
here.
were Hindus. The figures for minorities are smaller in comparison. But that's only
How do they
because
get up
most
on
of them end up
Yeah,
getting
they're currently.
killed
We're looking
or
at a
are
bunch of guys. I
forcefully
don't know what's going
converted
on. Like they're
before the
throwing
charges
rocks
are
off
even
the
But
filed.
wall.
I mean, what's your idea? What,
In
what's the
2010,
logic in standing on top of a
250
roof and then
Hindus were
demolishing the
forced
roof?
to
You're just going to
convert by
fall
their employer
through the
after
roof.
Muslims
Yeah.
began boycotting
It's
eatables
kind of a
that
bad
were
idea.
manufactured
Well, no,
over
Pakistani
accusations
building
of
code is pretty
blasphemy.
good. You don't,
In
you-
2013,
you don't
an
remember
entire
that
Christian
right now,
colony
man.
was torched after some inhabitants
All right.
were
So do you know what's
accused of
going on in this
blasphemy.
country? I mean, there's huge scandals
In
left and right.
2013,
So
a
you can
Christian
pause that,
couple was
Tyler.
killed.
I was like, I'm finishing this, dude. This is fucking good. This is riveting.
A former ambassador's daughter was murdered. Like a really off limits person was just murdered by a boyfriend because she broke up with him. And so far, nothing really. He's been arrested, but it doesn't look like a lot's going to happen. Also, rape has become a huge issue in Pakistan right now, and the prime minister came out and said that it's because the women dress inappropriately. And then also, apparently, the Taliban are.
Well, Malala does dress like a slut. I don't know if you guys have seen Malala's hair. You could literally see it right up front.
Yeah. Well, I mean, how do you not?
I want to riot through this city every single. We're currently looking at, by the way, at we're looking at a billboard that I would describe as the opposite of Pakistan. It says nasty gal, and it's a woman just presenting her pussy. It is just the complete opposite.
yeah. Pakistan's in a real cultural shift right now because I don't know. I guess they have a little bit more free speech than other countries because they have a lot of people speaking up.
Yeah. I guess what I wanted to bring up today on today's show is I wanted to get your opinion. Do you support the death penalty for this kid, or where you're at on this one?
So the idea is that a Hindu pissed in an Islamic toilet.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, these are neither of my cultures, so who am I to get involved? You know what I mean? If that's the way things work over there, nothing but respect. I don't really want to make a judgment call on this because it's out of my place. It's not my breadth of experience.
If it were a Shiite who did it, I would probably have a different point of view.
Yeah.
But this one, I'm a little agnostic on myself. This is sort of don't involve me at all, really. You know, this is between you guys.
Yeah, I don't want to get between people and their God. You know,
but I do like the idea of making an example out of a punk 8-year-old.
I imagine the executioner is like, oh, that's nice.
Look,
it's an easy neck to get through.
if I can find one positive spin on this story, you know, the parents in Pakistan at that point get one more tool to use against their children. You know what I mean? Like, are you sure you're not going to clean your room?
Oh, 'cause I might go tell somebody you pissed in the madrasa.
Possible, yeah.
You just have a little plastic bag with yellow water in it. You want me to go pour this down madrasa toilet?
You really don't have to. I mean, you don't have to actually do it, folks. It's just a tool to scare the kids into doing the right thing.
That's if you happen to be raising a Hindu boy
or a Christian in Pakistan.
A Christian in Pakistan.
A very limited, audience. But it's about niches these days, and that's what we're going for. Christians in Pakistan.
You know, our podcast, when we sit down with marketers and advertisers, and they're like, so what's your demographic? And we're like,
Russian Muslims, Christians in Pakistan.
Yeah. Basically, religious minorities in authoritative countries.
Yeah, so
that's kind of who we really resonate with.
Yeah, the Qazi community that lives in Uzbekistan.
Yeah, the Dagestanis.
Yeah, it's kind of what we're about.
The Pashtus.
Gaza Coptic Christians.
Huge in Gaza. Christians. Gaza Christians.
The Coptics. Yeah.
Is that what they're called? Coptics?
I think the Coptic Christians are a religious sect from Egypt. In Gaza, Egypt is kind of.
They're the OG. Are they the very first Christians?
Yeah, they're the dominant community out there.
Interesting.
The Coptic Christians. They get. One time, I remember a couple years back, ISIS just behead 150 of them on a beach. It was crazy. ISIS literally took out 150 in one day, one beach.
On a beach, of all places to do it.
I gotta tell you, if I was in ISIS that day, I'd be so fucking pissed. I'd be like, can't we just do one of them? The video is just as scary with one. It doesn't.
I got tennis elbow.
It's not like I see an execution and I think, well, if only they had more, I would be scared.
Yeah,
one.
It's effective.
One's good enough.
You know what's funny? I was looking at the news this morning, and it said 45 people shot in Chicago, and I was like, Jesus Christ! And then I found out it was individual shootings. You know, it wasn't one guy shooting 45 different people. Instantly, I was like, ow.
So it's like a bunch.
Yeah. This clickbait bullshit. I did it. My opinion of it, 45 individual snappings in a city of millions makes sense to me. One guy shooting 45. Now, that's news.
And honestly, when you break down those numbers, it's like how many of those shootings were justified, how many were not. Now you're looking at 31 shootings.
You taking a taxes stance on it like they won the lottery?
Well, I'm just saying from a statistical standpoint, some of those shootings probably were justified in some capacity.
It is remarkable, though, how that would be 24-hour news cycle news if one guy shot 45. But 45 people, it does make a dent.
I cannot tell you. It shocks me how uninterested in guns I am. I have no interest in. You would think it's all in me.
No, I just think more daggers.
I'm a dagger guy.
Yeah.
A dagger I respect way more than a gun.
There was a big
question.
Yeah, there was a big stabbing outbreak in Tokyo.
I'm gonna get
14 people stabbed on a train.
I'm gonna get a dagger to protect myself when I'm out and about.
Were you gonna wear it on your belly like a Houthi?
Yeah, I'm gonna put it around my chest like a bandito.
So we just covered an 8-year-old child who went against the grain.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about an 8-year-old child who's trying to get out of Syria and back home because there was this woman, Ariel Bradley.
Oh, you're transitioning.
I'm transitioning.
Nice.
There was a woman named Ariel Bradley.
Uh-huh.
She's from Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Okay.
She was raised extremely Christian, and she became an evangelical Christian.
Mm-hmm.
Evangelical?
Yeah.
Evangelical Christian.
Yeah.
And then after that, she got a different boyfriend and became a socialist.
Mm-hmm.
And then she became like an atheist with another boyfriend.
So she's a young lady who, bless her soul, kind
Just
of
becomes whatever her boyfriend becomes.
I think the old folks would say flies by the seat of their pants.
Yes. She, the way they said it is she crawled into the skin of whoever she dated, which is, not exactly as...
Is that an Arabic translation?
I know it's not exactly as quaint as flies by the seat of her pants.
That literally sounds like an Arabic poem or something.
Yeah. He crawled into her skin and became her. So Ariel Bradley marries a Muslim man, and
woo. Every time I hear something like that.
and somehow this ends up with her in ISIS. Now, my question to you, and there's a lot more to say about this, but a woman joining ISIS.
Okay.
What does that mean? What does that look like? How is a woman in ISIS? Because to me, you might as well say a woman joined the Oakland Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what did she do?
I do think the ISIS training camp and the Oakland Raiders summer training camp probably look similar. I will say that. I believe when you join ISIS as a woman, you're kind of going in, sort of doing a, like a Rosie the Riveter kind of thing, but it's less Rosie the Riveter and more.
Is it more no, we can't?
Yeah, it really is.
Flexing and saying no, we can't.
I think it's less Rosie the Riveter and more Amina the cum receptacle than it is. I think it's more about they just become impregnated. I think it's more about, just kind of standing by their guy.
So no combat?
No combat. I don't believe, and I may be wrong, Tyler may have skimmed through it. I don't think it's a combat position. I think it's more like a wife of ISIS. Real Housewives of ISIS would be a good show, by the way.
I would love that show.
I would love that show.
But okay, now my other question about you is this girl just becomes the ideology of whatever her boyfriend. Are you into that or not into that? Are you attracted to somebody who just like dives in headfirst to whatever you like?
Yeah, this is an interesting question. I think I just whatever I'm at, wherever I'm at in life, I just think I'd like the opposite.
I'm disgusted by when somebody takes interest in what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like when I'm dating somebody, I want them to have the exact opposite life of mine.
Although it kind of seems like it could be a sweet life though. Some chick who just kind of does whatever you're into
and doubles down.
You know me, I'm in and out of stuff pretty quick. You know me, dude.
Yeah.
1 second I'm here, 1 second I'm into electric cars, next second I'm into cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
If I could just get a chick who's with me,
flexible like that,
I think I'm actually into it.
You would be down to have a girlfriend who's like in line at Starbucks right now talking about like Bitcoin to somebody.
She's explaining to the cashier as she's paying, like, in the future we won't be doing anything like this. In the future I will send you probably a token. So I'm sure Starbucks is in the process of doing their own coin right now. Bucks coin or something like that. Like
the idea of dating a girl who, if I started dating a girl and she bought a Packers jersey. You know what I mean? And just became like into what I was doing. That's disgusting to me. But I guess the ISIS guy, I don't know how else a marriage can work, honestly. If you're into ISIS, you're going to have a broad who's into ISIS as well. Otherwise, that's just a tough marriage.
And you're going to have I think statistically more likely to run into a broad who kind of gets into ISIS for you versus just a girl who's naturally into ISIS.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The chances that you're going to meet a girl who's like, no, I actually love, I think
she would take over ISIS.
Yeah.
If a girl was she would be the leader of ISIS.
The queen. Oh, and that would be a good kind of twist for ISIS.
Like a queen bee scenario.
Like a queen bee sort of scenario.
Yeah.
That'd be a sick twist, dude. If I was the head of ISIS right now, I would literally be talking with my guys about this. Like, we could do kind of like a super hot Latina chick.
Dude, but the other thing is she was killed in a drone strike.
Okay.
Her and her husband.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing the reason why she popped onto the scene in 2015 and everybody started paying attention to her was because I don't know if you remember when this guy Abdulaziz shot up a military base in Chattanooga.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course I remember that. I remember all the shootings that are based around Islam. I really do.
So she tweeted out at that moment, and it went viral, that she said she, like in American English, like shitty American English, she was like, "So happy to see the word of Allah being spread to Chattanooga, like death to all the non-believers," like in a really gentle way. Is that tweet in there in that article?
Her name's Bradley.
Yeah, Ariel Bradley. But it's just really funny. And then people were like, "Wait, what happened to Ariel?" This is her coming out party as a member of ISIS, where they're like, and then everybody who's in different generations of her life, they're like, "Wait, that socialist activist is in ISIS now, or that evangelical Christian is in ISIS now?"
I love that how even in ISIS, if a hot chick is like tweeting it, like it just gets a lot. It gets a lot of attention. It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of ISIS material on here, but this is a hot chick who's doing it. So
Instantly pay attention.
yeah.
I mean, that's the way the world works, dude. I mean, I produce so many podcasts that are massive just because the dudes have jawlines. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
Like this one.
Like this one.
Yeah, you have a strong jaw.
You know, I do. It's crazy. A lot of people don't know that.
Why
about
is that
me.
crazy?
Well, that's something. Because you would hear me and you would think that you're like, "That guy's."
You don't
honest."
have a weak chin voice.
I have my chin is too strong.
You got a strong.
If I shave this chin, or I'm sorry,
Would you take over a country?
It might be a problem.
Yeah.
You would. I would for sure have a war crime underneath.
So that beard is for the good of all of us.
It really is.
It's like when that X-Men who can't touch people wears a glove.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Rogue.
Yeah, Rogue.
Or the X-Men who wears the shades.
Yeah.
Really, a lot of X-Men seem to have this issue.
The analogy king is back. But yeah, so she got killed in a drone strike. Somehow her baby survived. Her baby is in a camp. What do they call the refugee camp in Syria? And they're bringing her back home.
This is going to be Elian Gonzalez style. We're going to send her. ISIS is going to want her back. We're going to send her back to ISIS.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Like, Mohammed Gonzalez.
Dude, Elian Gonzalez is just like a straight up 32-year-old guy now. Like he's just he's like a guy.
So much pressure on him to do something with his life.
Probably didn't get much done at the end of it all. Although I mean I don't know. He's probably a doctor. I have no idea.
Will you look up Elian Gonzalez's Wikipedia page?
Elian Gonzalez is a young man who came here via tube.
He's a
to
Cuban,
Florida.
Cuban refugee who
How do you spell his
floated.
first name?
Elian,
Elian
Yeah.
Gonzalez.
Isn't it Spanish? I feel like this.
Yeah,
is
I know. I'm kind of insulted that Tyler asked us how to spell that.
I mean,
He's like, Jose, what the fuck do you mean J?
I understand Tyler's Mexican, but it is Spanish. So, I mean, it's not like.
What's he doing now?
He's 27.
27 years
He's
old.
still a young man.
So he's still a young man. I mean, kind of closer to my age, sort of thing.
Are you guys the same generation? He's a millennial.
Yeah. He's sort of on the same kind of wavelength.
Yeah. You guys are into the same shit. Pearl Jam.
He couldn't have lived up to the hype. No way.
That's a tough hype.
It's a tough hype.
But also, it's a tough position for the kid to be in, where it's like, I mean, when you're too young to remember your origin story, and then people tell you about it.
His mother passed away, I believe,
In a drone strike.
No.
Oh, Elian Gonzalez on the way there. She
on
passed
the way
away.
there. Yeah. So
Because his grandparents were fighting over him.
that's what I think the
had-
drama was all about. Anything good
Yeah,
there?
he became an industrial engineer in Cuba.
Yes, he's a loser. I mean, who?
I mean,
fucking cares?
I would have been impressed if he didn't say in Cuba, because everybody on the block in Cuba is a doctor.
Yeah, wow.
You know, it's like it's so communist over there. He's making minimum wage.
How many subs does he have on YouTube? That's the only way I'm getting. But you want my respect, Elian Gonzalez? How many subs you got on YouTube?
I'm
dog?
not gonna lie. I didn't know how that story ended up. I thought he was in America. I didn't know he actually got sent back to Cuba.
He's been in Cuba for like 2 decades. Like he went back.
For
pretty
some
much
reason, I
immediately.
thought he stayed. So when he said industrial engineer, I was like, whoa. And then he said in Cuba, and I'm like, nah, it's.
They said that when he in his graduating class, he read a speech by Fidel Castro. So he's like a hardcore Castro supporter.
Yeah. See, what a loser, dude. Hey, Elian, you're a loser.
Yeah, well, his mom died trying to get here. I'm sure he had to rebel against that to process it in some way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I also don't know what the hell. I also don't know anything about Castro. He might be awesome.
I'm not.
All I know is whatever George Lopez's father-in-law had to say about Castro. That's all I know. Well, on the show, of course.
I know that. Yeah, yeah.
The George Lopez show.
That's really all I know about Cubans.
What was his rant? What was
He
it?
was just like a pro. He was kind of like a Republican Cuban was the character.
Oh, so he hated
So
Castro.
he hated Castro.
Yeah.
So-
All the white rich Cubans left when he took over.
Look, I don't know. I just say I don't know much about Castro.
I'm more of a Raul Castro of the Castro brothers. I like Raul.
Could all be great guys. Literally have no idea.
Raul Castro is Fidel's older brother, and he took over for Fidel, which is my favorite dictator move. Where you're like, the guy's 80 years old, and they're like, "Hey, my 84-year-old brother, maybe it's time to hand over the keys to him."
Yeah. The Saudi royal family very much works that way as well. I love that. Speaking of the Saudi royal family, let's close this bad boy out. My favorite type of news story has returned. Osama Bin Laden is, as we all know, there was a 437,000 files discovered on Osama Bin Laden's compound.
How are they still discovering these things?
My guess is it's the CIA it's taking them time to declassify stuff. So that's the problem with a lot of these articles is by the time the facts get to you, you're like, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't even fucking believe this.
Yeah. It's not real. You're just trying to besmirch him.
There's a lot of that going on. There's a new book by one of the journalists who covered this situation, and that's where this
The Rise and Fall of Osama Bin Laden.
Now, I am not going to read this book. I'm going to read this article and basically tell people I read the book.
Sure.
I'll basically have the same amount of information.
I bet your favorite detail is my favorite detail.
Oh, without a question. A lot of new, information released to the public. Of course, let's see a couple of the things that I learned in that article.
Just for men, hair dye.
Just for men, hair dye. I think we kind of knew that.
Yeah.
It's a little upsetting, but hey, who among us isn't? It's a human thing.
He was trying to keep his appeal because his good looks was part of the. I'm trying so hard to say that with a straight face.
He is a good-looking guy. You can't say he's not good-looking.
Yeah,
you can't say he's not good-looking.
I used to think he was a giant. He's 6'4".
It's still pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it's only 2 inches taller than me, but yeah.
Okay, I think the impressive part about Osama bin Laden is that you go like, but being 6'4" means you shouldn't have to be doing shit like that.
Yeah.
6'4" means like, dude, you could go do whatever the fuck you want to do. Like, it's not like you're gonna be fucking center in the NBA, but it is like whatever you want. Job.
You do have a manipulative ability when you're 6'4". You do have a control over people.
Exactly.
They're all looking up at you, and you're looking down at everybody.
Apparently, he was so good at hiding that there were like wives.
Security guards' wives didn't know he lived there.
Yeah, he just blended right in with everybody else. I mean, think about how good you got to be at hiding. That
to be
people
6'4" Arab.
Yeah, walking around the compound and people don't see you.
Not only you're saying he blended in really well, but according to this article, he wore a cowboy hat.
I picture him going around so in this article.
That's my favorite detail I ever found out of Osama bin Laden. Used to walk around in a cowboy hat, which apparently was his way of hiding in fucking Pakistan. How many cowboy hats are walking around?
It must.
How many 6'4" dudes in cowboy hats are walking around?
So just to reiterate that, the reason why he wore that cap is because if the Americans were watching him or somebody was watching him, they wanted them to be like, oh, it's fine. It's just a guy in a cowboy hat walking by. It's not Osama bin Laden. Like, that's what he was doing.
But wouldn't you be like, who's the dude in the cowboy hat? That's like when celebrities they dress in a way where they pretend they're trying to hide, but they want you to know they're famous. Like they wear 2 scarves and like 2 sunglasses.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? They do something ridiculous.
I like the idea of Osama being like, he's wearing the cowboy hat, and they're like, yeah, but do you got to do the cowboy boots? It seems like a lot of work to get into. And he's like, no, they won't buy it unless
and Daisy Dukes.
He's kind of cross-dressing. He's having a good time. Bin Laden's a furry.
Yeah.
He's like, no, this is so they think that I'm a cat walking across the yard. He's all sexy and shit.
He's drinking out of a saucer with a fucking tail up his asshole. One of those butt plug tails. This is for the CIA.
There's some other good facts on there. Tyler, what are they?
It said his older wives had PhDs.
Oh yeah, so he had 2 wives that he kind of had. Oh,
which is a lot of what you talked about.
He basically stole my idea, or maybe I stole his idea. I guess if I can be great minds, parallel thinking.
Exactly.
So he had 2 wives who were both PhDs. that he kind of talked strategy with.
Yeah, he counseled them on every decision he made.
So anytime he wanted to do something, he would talk to one of these chicks. And then he did have a 16-year-old bride. That's not my idea, by the way, but
it made sense because, well, not the 16-year-old part, but she was Yemeni.
I mean,
And so he was like, I need to have a Yemeni wife so that the Yemenis like me in case
if
I need to
have
flee there.
which is it says a lot about the scenario that you're looking
I
at.
know. Where it's like, I don't trust this guy. And they're like, he married one of your 16-year-olds. Oh, bring him in. Bring him in.
Sammy boy,
Oh.
basically one of us now.
Yeah. Why didn't you tell me?
You know what, though? I did see the chick, and she honestly looks 17. I'm serious. You would not know she was 16.
I used to do a joke about Osama Bin Laden being a pedophile because my theory was, for the joke, was that, like, because remember when Prince Andrew got caught with Epstein stuff?
Yes, yeah.
And then later on they caught him saying the N-word in the Senate or whatever they have over there, the House of Commons.
Yeah.
And my whole thing was like, that's not a big enough scandal. Like, you buried the lead. Like, if you're going to be a pedophile and something, it has to be huge, right?
Yeah.
That was the premise of the joke. And I was always like, my example was Osama Bin Laden. It's like, he was a pedophile. You didn't know that because he did something bigger. So, like, that's how hard you have to go if you want pedophile to be a footnote in your biography.
Yeah.
You've got to do, like, 9/11.
What I loved, can we watch? This is an old video. We'll close the show out on this because they went into. This is like a CNN video from a couple years back. Again, they do this story once every 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever the CIA deems is okay to release.
Well, it makes sense right now because we're watching a public failure in Afghanistan. A war we fought for 20 years for apparently nothing. It completely failed. So they're like, hey, but remember, here's some more secrets on this guy because we killed him.
We'll take a look at that.
It's a good spin.
Yeah, we'll take a look at that actually on the Patreon because I do want to look. The Taliban is
They're just in control.
Crushing Afghanistan right now.
Yeah.
On that outline, Tyler, it's labeled sample. If you could play that really quickly, and we'll get out on this one. So this is from a couple years back when they found his hard drive initially.
Is it really a revelation that Bin Laden was plotting more U.S. attacks?
This is what I absolutely hate about these stories is hit play. Some of these are not great revelations.
Newly revealed in the now
Wait, pause it real quick. Start that over. I love how they had to start that with a scary Allahu Akbar. It has nothing to do with just play it one more time from the beginning. I always want people...
People are like, you gotta remember who he is.
Bin Laden papers,
Look how scary these people are. That's what they're saying.
To attack targets in the United Kingdom, Europe, and even Russia, with an emphasis on hitting Americans whenever possible.
This is a revelation. I mean, really.
Yeah.
So why did the attacks fail? According to the master terrorist, it was bad luck, and God wasn't on our side.
Put your mask on. Put your mask on.
The papers
Oh,
show
wow.
that in
He
all
would
the
hate
years
that
since
footage.
9/11,
Yeah, I want to clip
You have
that.
to clip that.
Yeah, please save that right now.
Never let up. One says,
That was Rudy
"These
Giuliani,
pig-eating
everybody,
invaders
screaming,
and their
"Put your
loyal
mask
dogs
on."
are too scared of death
These
to fight us face to face.
pig-eating invaders.
The main reason they continue to kill us is because we do not have the knowledge and the resources to counter their technology.
I mean, I think that's a pretty fair
Yeah.
assessment.
It's not really a
Bin
revelation
Laden
either.
clearly feared the power of American drones, warning his commanders to change locations only under cloudy skies to avoid detection. And he cautioned, we should be careful not to send big secrets by email, because the enemy can easily
What a
monitor
master
it.
terrorist.
I mean,
This
that
science
seems to
is
be
not
pretty.
our science. He
Computer
distinctly
science
saw
is not
any
our
evidence
science.
Yes, everybody
Islamic
knows
State
we
is
are
premature
swinging
and
on monkey
risky.
bars in the
His
desert science.
followers
We
should be
are.
prepared for a long struggle for things like food and water shortages. I am sure that you are aware that climate change is causing drought in some areas and floods in others. His online
he's a
library
liberal?
also revealed in the documents contained nearly 40 books in English, including Obama's Wars by Bob Woodward, Bloodlines of the Illuminati, and the Rise and Fall of the Great Powers.
Well, I mean,
And
he's
there is
locked up in
this,
a fucking
an application
compound.
form
Yeah.
for
He can only
would-be
watch so much porn.
jihadis, asking about
gotta
their
read some books.
education, families, hobbies, and do any of your family or friends work with the government?
Oh, yeah,
Would
this is
they
the
be
application,
willing
the
to
terrorist
help us?
application.
Do you wish to execute a suicide operation? And who should we contact in case you become a martyr?
I'm gonna put your name in that on that. By the way,
This is like a McDonald's application in 2 years.
isn't that so? It's a bit of a. Is that a big ask from somebody to be like, hey, if you don't mind, if I did put your name down for in case I do a martyr operation for you to get the call? It's a lot of pressure.
Not really. I mean, they call me and say, hey, just so you know, Ramsey's a martyr. Good to know.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Let me switch to Patreon. Yeah. No, I mean, it's not. There's no responsibility for me.
That's a good point.
I mean, I guess I do have to then tell the world, which would increase my followership. I would probably absorb your followership.
Yeah, you'd probably have to talk about that on a public platform about how you lost your friend.
Yeah,
to,
probably
to
live stream
terrorism.
it.
Ooh, how you lost your friend to terrorism.
And I'll drop it in at the end.
Of course.
I'll plug all my shit first.
You're gonna watch to the end. Something happened to my dear friend Ramsey.
But first, I'll be live in Fresno.
Ramsey would have loved Manscaped. Manscaped is a great product. All right, it is hot as balls.
Yeah, you don't want to let your chest hair on fire when you're trying to light dynamite sticks on your vest on fire.
Very funny. Obviously, everybody knows. Not a problem for me. Let's close the show out today. This has been a fantastic show. Special thanks to Tyler here working overtime. God bless his soul. Follow him on all social media platforms at Tyler Gazar. That's guitar with a Z. Tyler, podcast. Is there a name?
It's under construction right now. We had a few setbacks.
Listen, man.
We're rebranding and we're gonna relaunch.
Okay, well, we're standing by eagerly for that.
Also, Tyler's co-host's phone is currently cut off. I didn't even know in 2021 people's phones get cut off still.
Yeah, I even think that they just let you kind of rack it up.
yeah, his phone is just off.
All right, well, sounds like a challenging time for the artist formerly known as Best Movie Ever. Follow all the relevant show links in the show notes. We appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Hey, Bryan, do you have anything to say to these people before we get out of here?
No, sir.
Hey, if you've got nothing else to say and I got nothing else to say, on behalf of everybody here at the Worst Hour Nation, peace be unto the prophet.
Long live my sense of smell.